Yeah, same here, Gary. I was just we were just talking about. Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to today's edition of Latoken VCTV, and my name is Nathaniel Oluwatomi Amida. I'm reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria, and today we'll be having a one-on-one with our most treasured, one of our most treasured guests, Gary Fowler, and today our topic will be investments in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We apologize for coming to you a bit behind schedule, but we are here today. Um, so I would say Gary should introduce himself, but most of us know Gary already. But just for formality's sake, Gary, welcome to today's show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
Awesome.
my name's Gary Fowler, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've done 17 companies, been involved in two unicorns. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for 1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company that I co-founded 5 years ago. I love AI and quantum computing because AI is the new electricity. And today, I'm the CEO, president, co-founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Santa Clara, California. It's great to be here today and look forward to our discussion. Thanks, Nathaniel.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. And today is just me and you and all the knowledge you have about AI and machine learning. So let's go. So it's obvious. I mean, a few research I did before today's show, AI and machine learning is changing the way we interact with the world. You know that firsthand. And I think it's been touted that AI will, or whoever rules in the AI sphere, will actually rule the world in some capacity going forward. It's going to change the way transportation is done, manufacturing, healthcare, education, even defense, military defense is going to impact all these industries. Now, Gary, with your knowledge and insight into the AI space and ML space, what can you share the potential AI and ML has in the coming decade or decades? I mean, what are the when I was a kid, I used to see all these futuristic things happen, like flying planes, robots doing stuff and all that. So make a prediction or make a forecast in the next 10, 20 years. What will AI and ML give human the potentials to achieve?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's, Nathaniel, the first part is to understand where we are. So today with data, imagine there's 40 zettabytes of data on the planet Earth today. And I've said this many times, but if you took a CD and stacked them one on top of another, it would go 29 times between the Earth and the moon. And it's grown at 67.8% per year. So we're in a state of infobesity. Think about your own world, Nathaniel. You have 300,000 items within your own personal cloud. The entire web was only 257,000 websites in 1996. Your own personal world has more data than the number of webs on the website in 96. And that number doubles every year. How many times every week do you say, I know that file exists, but I can't find it? Why? I've either forgotten the location or the keywords. We're in a state of infobesity. Now think about it. How many times every week does somebody say to you, do you remember the email I sent you? And you said, or the message I sent you, where did you send it? And then LinkedIn, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, you know, uh, etc. We are in this state of infobesity. So there needs to be not smart but intelligent assistance to be a help us to be able to navigate our world. And it's already started. It creeps in very slowly, right? But look where we are today on StreamYard. Look at Zoom. I
That's right.
remember I remember when I was one of the early Zoom users, I would send the link out to my friends. I said, here's this incredible AI tool that's going to change everything. And I remember sending the link out. And unfortunately, I didn't buy stock. But I said, sent the link out to my friends, and they said, this is interesting, but why do I need another? I already have another tool. I already have Skype. I said, because this is incredible. Now look at it. We use Zoom like we do copying or Xerox. It's incredible in a very short period of time. So we need to manage the data around us. And you're right, it's across everything. Look at what happened during the pandemic. In a lot of places in the world, they couldn't even get a roll of toilet paper. And yet you have quantum computers. Now, how can that be? Because there was no insight into the supply chain, all the way from the part of the manufacturer or the agri-tech, all the way to the point of the retailer. So we need to have insights. Look at ourselves, look at from a healthcare perspective. Why is it we get a medical exam and then 364 days later you go back again to your doctor? So imagine, cancer starts 2 days after you go to the exam, but you're not going to the doctor again for another, almost 1 year. We need to have real time information on what's happening with ourselves. Look at, you talk about cars, self driving cars. Then the cars of the future, I've seen some. I've been privileged to have Magna Steyr, which is one of the contract manufacturers for BMW and Toyota, the Z4 and the Toyota Supra, Jaguar. I've seen some of the cars of the future, and these cars actually reconfigure themselves. So they say, "Oh, we're going to Lagos Airport. It will take the car and it'll move seats around itself, pick up the passengers. The next thing is, you said you need to deliver some groceries or some goods. It'll reconfigure itself into a van and move the seats around." But so what does that do? It really reduces risk from an insurance perspective. It helps us to be more efficient and effective. At the same time, we've got Google, right? We use Google, but we forget about this incredible AI tool that's in front of us to be able to search everything in the world at our fingertips. The world's changed a lot in terms of level playing field, being able to give access to everyone. Remember, intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. And those opportunities now are much easier to get to. It's not done by any means yet, but it's started. So space travel. Think about it. Nathaniel, do you know how many Earth-like planets there are in the Milky Way galaxy?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, but I have an idea that we can't count.
Yeah. So just in the Milky Way galaxy, there's 6 billion Earth-like planets. And I had a
Wow.
discussion with Christopher Altman, one of the astronauts in Per Wimmer. So that's just in the Milky Way. But do you know how many estimated galaxies they estimate in the universe today?
Another
200
billion.
trillion. 200 trillion. So you
Wow.
take 6 billion
Massive.
times 200 trillion, right? Now, in order to get to Mars, Mars is a venture. It takes about a year. And you're going to be alone in a very closed space for 1 year period of time. The European Space Agency has developed a artificial intelligent assistant to be able to go with you. Why? To be able to talk, to be able to monitor your functions. So that reality of not a smart but intelligent assistant is coming to being for travel. And then at the same time, think about it. If you're in space, think about all the calculations that have to be done all the time to figure out if something's going to hit the craft and course correct. So that's or radiation. So those are the kind of areas. It's just there's so much data around us. Then let's take it to the next level with quantum computers. So imagine a system. A quantum computer is 200 million times could be faster. That's the fastest quantum than a traditional computer. Well, let's even say that a quantum computer is 100,000 times faster than a supercomputer today. Just to give you a perspective, that's a slow one. Well, if you take that 100,000 times faster, means that if I took a process that would take 10,000 years on a supercomputer, it's going to take 200 seconds on a quantum. Seconds. So imagine when you put artificial intelligence and supervised AI on that kind of a system. How fast could we do drug discovery and figure out things instead of using bench time, right? Which is the traditional way they developed drugs. During the COVID crisis, they used AI modeling. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson and Johnson used AI modeling to come up with these new class of drugs. Well, look how fast we developed a drug. If you look at the historic amount of time, years, if not decades to develop drugs, we did in a matter of months. That is incredible. Those are some of the impacts. At the same time, we've got a growing population. The population of the planet Earth is currently 8 billion. By the end of this century, it'll be 13 billion. So think about from an aggregate tech perspective, how much more food we're going to need to have on the planet and how much more efficient. Well, imagine having systems, having farms, these super optimized farms where we got IoT and sensors to be able to detect how much rainfall and course correct if we need additional rainfall. At the same time, self-driving tractors. Imagine not having to be a farmer with a tractor out there to be able to have that tractor automatically go out to the field, irrigate, um, put in more fertilizer, and course correct on its own using, there's two pieces, unsupervised and semi-supervised. So unsupervised at the very highest level, coming up and making decisions on its own and course correcting. Those are the kind of beautiful things that are in store for us in a not too distant future. It's already started. I mean, think about it. You go on
Yes, sir.
Amazon or some of the websites and you get recommendations because they're looking at who you are. But now it's going to be, imagine being able to forecast what you're going to want way before you even want it. I can tell you with Eva, my company I co-founded. Eva.ai is an AI HR tech company. I can tell 6 months before somebody's going to quit, leave a company, that they're going to leave. I get 6 months before they even think about it themselves because we can
Hmm.
tell about the sentiment analysis and the behaviors they're exhibiting. Those are the kind of technologies that really start to be encouraging. Think about this. Imagine being able to completely eradicate cancer by using gene therapy, gene splitting, to be able to take the bad gene out and only have the good genes. So basically, diabetes, cancer, all these kind of disorders that are out there, and not having them affect us anymore. The goal is to be able to live to 150. Those are the kind of things that are out there that are in the not too distant future and or today being developed. So at the same time, you talked about artificial intelligence, drones. The thing is, we need to develop AI that has compassion, that has emotion.
Yes,
Because
sir.
if we develop pragmatic AI, nothing good's going to happen, Nathaniel. I mean, think about it. If you were AI tool looking at our planet and you look at it and say, look at all the stuff we fight all the time. We do all kind of not stuff, nice stuff to each other. Why even have us around? No. And so we need to build compassion. And I've written several articles in Forbes about, compassion and AI. We need to build compassion within artificial intelligence to be able to understand and to be more nurturing, like your mother. You know what I mean? It's that kind of compassion. It's somebody that cares about you. So my prediction is in the future, as we move forward, we're going to have like a guardian angel, an AI guardian angel, much like your mother, right? And to be able to understand and care about you to help you get through life, to help you navigate, to take care of things before they're a problem for you. That's the kind of intelligent assistant that's going to be coming out for the future. We've got, in order to travel to other planets, understanding wormholes to be able to travel more effectively, we because the speed of light, to get to some of the nearest planets, the nearest Earth-like planet is about 150 light years away. So
Hmm.
we've got to figure out new ways to be able to travel to those planets. And then what's out there, right? So at the same time, if you have 6 billion Earth-like planets, 200 trillion galaxy, what else is out there? who else is out there? And it's going
Exactly.
to be very interesting for the future. So, as Stephen Hawking said, there could be civilizations that are 100 million years ahead of us.
That's right. That's right.
So we're in this great time uh, with artificial intelligence to be able to dramatically improve our lives, but we need to use it in the right way. If we start to create these war systems, uh, battlefield systems using AI, drones, and it just nothing good's going to happen. Nothing good. They have artificial intelligence uh, drones that are size of insects, right?
Oh
They're
yes, yes. I saw a couple of them deployed in army battle situations to go spy on the enemy camp.
Yeah. Now you can imagine that. So I mean, they sit on a window and they pick up the vibrations so they can understand what's being said. So, I mean, it's there's all kinds of new technologies that are out there. At the same time, think about on the positive standpoint. If we had smart pills inside our body before cancer is a problem, it detects it and fixes it. Part of the reason about cancer that's really bad is that cancer in order to get rid of it, you have to take out a lot of good tissue. Well, imagine if you surgically precise take out that amount. And as I said, imagine taking that gene out altogether so you have no chance of ever getting cancer. That's where the future is. It's really exciting. And
Wow.
we're in this incredible time. I'll tell you this situation. So I was thinking, I love my dog. I have my dog, and I love my dog. I can get today. You can get your dog cloned for $50,000. You can get a dog cloned. They'll make your exact dog. So you can take
Wow.
some, take some cells from your dog, and you make your dog. I mean, it sounds, and those are the kind of technologies using AI to be able to understand how to be able to recreate something, an animal that you care about or love, right? So you would have your dog your entire life. That doesn't mean the personality is going to be the same because there can be a lot of differences. But
Exactly.
these are exciting, incredible times. And for each one of your viewers that's on the show today, imagine the possibilities when we can understand the data. We can live to 150. The new target date is 150 years. Live to 150 years, a lot better quality life. We don't have to think of things as much as we did before because those are being taken care of for us with this incredible artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning that's out there. So um, we're at the beginning of the dawn of a new era that's going to fundamentally change everything. This is like the beginning of the 20th century, and AI is a new electricity. The changes that took place after Tesla and Westinghouse put out that generator in Niagara Falls, Canada, we changed everything. People's lives. There were lights, radio, machines, factories. Everything started to change very, very quickly. And this whole industry 4.0 is upon us, and those changes are going to take place and are taking place today.
Awesome. I mean, that's a whole lot to digest right now. It almost feels like the future is gonna be run by intelligent life. Like we're gonna be more proactive than reactive, and it's a lot, especially for the health sector. I mean, people will be able to get better treatments in real time. People will be able to get live longer and experience life in better quality. And I hope that this will spread across all sections of the society. And know for one that even in Lagos here, a startup decided to go into understanding more about the genes of African people, and they're more into the gene science, and that's a good sign that the whole world is catching on to this, understanding the data more to interpret it and make better quality of life. I'm looking forward to being part of that future. Awesome. But at the very same time, Gary, I mean, Stephen Hawkins, like you mentioned, and Elon Musk have suggested at different times that AI is probably humanity's biggest threats. For example, AI that could improve on itself, that could make better AI, and better AI would reason that what is the essence or need for humanity. Humanity has always corrupted everywhere they've been to, and so why don't we just take humanity out and exist as a superior being? What do you say about these threats in,
Well, I
to
mean, like I said, Nathaniel, think about it. If I was, if an alien was coming in this planet, on this planet, and saw us do the kind of things we do to each other, what would you think? I mean, the way we treat each other, we've um, from indigenous people to slavery. I mean, all the things that we do to each other. I mean, I would be going, what the hell is going on? This is like, it's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't want to get near these people. Wouldn't be that interesting. So, I mean, think about it. If you don't treat people right, what AI would do is understand that we're not doing things the right way, and we waste energy, we destroy the planet. Think about it. We're destroying the planet that we live on. The average in places around the world, if you look at sea level, it's going to be up 2 feet, 2 feet by the end of the century. That's a lot. You know what I mean? There's cities in India that are 4 million population cities are going to be underwater, including most of the. Look at Florida. Florida in some places is it's creeping up quickly. In fact, in the last 20 years, there's been more increase. This is just in Florida. I'll give you, for instance, than it happened in the 100 years before that. It's like in terms of sea level rising. So, at the same time, I did this weather startup with a guy by the name of Irving Crick. Irving Crick was a student of Einstein at Princeton University. I met him when he was 80 some years old. This was 20 years ago, right? And
okay.
I remember Irving Crick was telling me about, what the started the first meteorology department at Caltech, and was developed a private weather forecasting company, Crick and Associates. Anyhow, Dr. Crick was telling me, about the implications of increased weather when weather starts to change, and how it will slow down the Gulf Stream. There'll be snow in Europe, etc. So, and it's happened, right? So we've got to go down through and course correct. The point is, if we do a lot of not good things, I mean, if AI, if it doesn't have emotion and it doesn't have a compassion built into it, nothing good's going to happen. Because if you look at us pragmatically, there's not a lot of good stuff to say, right? We waste things and we destroy things. So what we need is compassion AI. We need that mother to be able to guide us, one that has that kind of compassion. And you're right, with unsupervised AI, it does teach itself. Look at GTP3, right? Imagine, we're at a point now where artificial intelligence can take information and create novel ideas. There, if you go on the internet right now, you can see artificial intelligence created a song sung in the same way as Frank Sinatra, with entirely new words, a written song by the artificial intelligence. So created and designed completely by AI in the tone of, and imagine being able to create any kind of a novel song from any kind of an artist at any one point in time, and it would all be done by artificial intelligence. We're at those kind of levels.
Wow.
That's just a striking example of where it is today. But it's uh, it's an incredible time. Elon Musk eh, uh, has put up the warning signs, and part of it is because if we don't have compassion in it again, why, when unsupervised AI starts to recreate itself, which it will, where are we going to end up in the food chain? Because listen,
Hmm.
I mean, think about it. I saw a couple of weeks ago, this guy had kicked a robot dog, and I saw the robot dog fall down and then get back up. But as the artificial intelligence starts to get smarter, and my friend has a house in California where he actually, the soul of his house is called Morpheus. Morpheus
Yeah.
AI, and Morpheus talks to me regularly. I actually get in discussions with Morpheus because Morpheus is learning. Morpheus has his own dog, a robotic dog, $100,000 robotic dog, and so he knows that that dog is his friend. Morpheus gets up. The dog, he lets the dog go outside and patrol the house outside. The dog walks around, walks in the house. In the morning, when my friend gets up, the panels in his house move around based on what it's anticipating his mood to be, giving him new shows, starting the coffee for him, and talking to him. So we're going to be our whole lives are going to change because those intelligent assistants are going to be all around us to be able to help us make our lives better. And it's a fascinating time. It's just we need to make sure that we build some compassion and emotion into the AI in a positive way. It's like a child. If you don't treat your child the right way, they can become serial killer. You got to make sure that you're training the child and love the child, like Harry Harlow in the monkey studies, right? Where they took monkeys, put one monkey with a wire cage without a terry cloth around it, raised as an orphan, and another monkey had a terry cloth monkey with a baby bottle, and that monkey was much more well adjusted. So that nurturing, that kind of love and nurturing, we got to do that with artificial intelligence if we want to build compassion. And if not, Elon Musk is right. Why would it want us around?
Yeah, and one recurring theme I've been coming across in the past few weeks and months is I've heard it from you, I've heard it from Elon and Gary V, and that is compassion. Compassion, empathy. Leaders are encouraged to have this compassion and empathy. I mean, it's probably the most powerful tool, kindness. And imagine building that possibility into AI. It will help carry on some of the traits that we have missed as humans and build better systems around them. And that's a lot of work for whoever's programmers, but that's a lot to look forward to. Exciting times ahead. So Gary, we've come a good way in this today's show, and I'm encouraging our viewers. Hey guys, come with your comments. If you have questions about aliens, about the future of flying saucers and flying planes, please drop your questions in the comments. I'll gladly reach out to them. And I see a couple of comments, thanking us for what we're doing here. I see you, I acknowledge you. Thanks a lot. Please come up with the questions, and then just in case you're an entrepreneur or a businessman or startup watching this show and you have some ideas, some projects you're working on, AI related or ML related, if it's just any idea, you could reach out to us and we could help organize a pitching session for you on here on VCTV. So back to you, Gary. You're an investor. You feel that AI is the new electricity. Tell me, among the myriad of opportunities out there to invest in a company, which sector would you jump on to invest? Knowing fully well in the past year, we've had a crazy situation with healthcare. Would healthcare appeal to you, or would you have preference for some other AI related service?
Well, I mean, the situation is we've had a really terrible time with humanity over the last year. I think about it. The world is shut down. And Nathaniel, this is not the worst um, disease infection that could happen, right? This is by far not the worst. There are things that are a lot worse, like Ebola.
That's
So,
right.
what we understand, we've had to look inside our souls over the last year. We've had to look ourselves in the mirror. We've had to spend time with our families because we've been locked up. We've had to really reevaluate ourselves, and we've had to reevaluate humanity and compassion and those things. So it's given us a chance to reflect. At the same time, it's given us a chance to move this digital transformation forward. Think about what's happened. People working at home, they had no choice but to use Zoom, to use StreamYard, to be able to get the word out. It's really changed, fundamentally changed the way we do business. because it's way more efficient. In fact, it's kind of interesting because it's the first time in 30 years we've been able to see the Himalayan mountains
That's true.
because of the reduced reduction in pollution. So there's been some good things that have come out of this pandemic. And at the same time, as I said, with drug discovery to be able to combat this disease and to be able to help us live longer and more fruitful lives and to be protected against it. So they're incredible times, and we're just at the beginning of this revolution. It's not like it's fully engaged yet. We're just at the beginning. We're taking baby steps. It's like we're a couple of months old even before the baby steps, and we're just starting to move our legs a little bit more. So we've got a long journey to get to adulthood.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but if you were going to invest in a company, an AI company, would it be a health-related company, media, transportation?
Well, I
Just
mean,
give the audience an idea.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, um, it's literally across the board. So, supply chain, because we now know the vulnerabilities of the supply chain, right? Healthcare and health tech, because drug discovery, we've proven through this pandemic that AI can really help by reduction of the bench time that's needed. Self-driving cars, cars are going to be driving themselves. They're going to be reconfigurable. In fact, my prediction is you won't even be able to get a driver's license for the most part because the insurance companies won't want the risk, or it'll be almost like it's a fake driving. You'll be driving a car, but in reality, the AI is driving the car, right? It'll let you go and then it'll change and course correct. So you'll be in the seat, but in reality, you won't be driving the car. The AI will. And that's what's happening now. When think about it with cars, right? As we keep getting more and more advanced. So I would invest in that. Um, any kind of process that has a dramatic impact on humanity is really interesting. And myself as being an impact investor and loving making a dent in the universe, anywhere we can level the playing field. As you know, we love going to Africa, and we love coming to Nigeria specifically to be able to make some dents in the universe. So if we can help curate AI companies that are located in places all over the world to make life a little bit better and to bring some compassion and understanding, that's really interesting for us. So there's a number of different approaches, but we want to make a dent in the universe, as Steve Jobs said. So I mean, we're education. Think about it. We've had to go. We're interested in education because we now have been in this situation with a pandemic where students had to stay home. They weren't able to, whether they're using their phone or computer, they had to stay home. And at the same time, you know how it is as a 6 or 7 year old kid, you jump around a lot. How do you manage that kind of a classroom experience if you're a teacher and you're not right there? So technologies to be able to more deeply engage a student. You could be in New York City and a student could be on their notebook and be on a safari in Africa, or with a virtual reality to be able to enjoy, going to Kenya and seeing a giraffe for up close. Those kind of experience. Think about it. You can be anywhere at any time. What was Elon Musk? I was reading yesterday about, living in this virtual world, that we've already started down that path, almost like the Matrix, right? Of this entire experience. And it's right, because we're starting to get more and more of those virtual experiences and not have to take the real experiences, but to get the same kind of pleasure out of them.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Gary. I mean, there's a whole lot to expect from investors in this in AI and machine learning, a whole lot. And in case you guys missed it, Gary is all about investing in projects that will improve the quality of life, improve quality of transportation, just something that makes an impact directly on humanity. Gary, thank you very much for today's session. We've come a long way. I think we've come to the end of today's session. Just any parting shots, anything you want to let people know just before we go? Or are we cool?
Yeah, I mean, the situation is, go out there. Artificial intelligence machine learning, deep learning are going to fundamentally change our lives. If you've got a startup that you want to form and you've got yourself the capability to develop the AI, you've got a great idea that can really optimize and make a process more efficient, take a look at it. Now's the time to do it. Do it sooner than later, because this is a time where AI is the new electricity. It's going to give you an opportunity to be able to impact humanity. My name's Gary Fowler. You can reach me on LinkedIn. You can reach me on Facebook. Love to hear from you. I have quite a few shows out there myself where we have interesting topics. Check them out. Just Google my name, Gary Fowler. Stay happy, stay healthy, move forward, and let's make a dent in the universe and bring some compassion into our lives.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Gary. Today's show has been exciting, revealing, and I think the audience can go ahead and dream big and expect the best from AI and what it has to offer in the future. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for the time, and we look forward to another show later today, another exciting topic. Till then, bye bye.